In the middle of Chicago, on a street where the richest people in America go to shop, a simple janitor made a decision that destroyed his life in 30 seconds. His name was Leo. He was only 22 years old. He was poor, he was hungry, and he desperately needed his job to pay for his father's debts. But Leo did something that people in that store never did. He told the truth. He interrupted a sale worth thousands of dollars to save a dirty, confused old man from being scammed by the store manager. When the manager heard the janitor speak, he didn't just get angry, he went crazy. He humiliated Leo in front of the wealthy customers. He dragged him by his collar across the polished marble floor, and he threw him out onto the cold, wet pavement like a bag of trash. The manager slammed the glass door and laughed. He thought he had won. He thought he had power. But he made one fatal mistake. He didn't check who the dirty old man really was. He didn't know that the man in the muddy boots wasn't a farmer, and he certainly didn't expect that his cruel act would trigger a chain reaction that would not only bankrupt the store, but expose a secret that had been hidden for 40 years. And that brutal firing would be just the preamble to something that would change Leo's life and the fate of that store forever. Before we continue, if you like stories of overcoming odds and justice, subscribe to our channel. We bring to life memories and voices that never had space, but carry the wisdom of a lifetime. It was a Tuesday in November. The wind in Chicago was brutal. It was the kind of cold that hurts your face. Inside, Royal Gems & Co. It was a different world. The air conditioner was set to a perfect temperature. The air smelled of expensive perfume and fresh lilies. The lights were designed to make gold look yellow and diamonds look like fire. Leo was on his knees near the entrance. He was scrubbing a black mark off the white marble floor. Leo wore a gray uniform that was 2 sizes too big. His shoes were old sneakers that he had tried to fix with black tape. Dozens of customers walked past him, men in $5,000 suits, women carrying handbags that cost more than Leo made in a year. Not a single person looked at him. To them, Leo wasn't a person. He was just part of the furniture. He was a machine that cleaned. If they had looked at him, they would have seen a young man with tired eyes. They didn't know his story. 2 years ago, Leo wasn't a janitor. He was a student. He was happy. But then his father got sick. Cancer. It was fast and it was expensive. Leo's father, Thomas, had been a gemologist, a man who loved stones. He didn't make much money, but he taught Leo everything. Every night, Thomas would sit with Leo and show him stones under a magnifying glass. "Look, Leo," his father would say, "see that tiny black spot? That is carbon. That is nature's fingerprint. Real things have flaws. Only fake things are perfect." When his father died, he left Leo with a broken heart and a mountain of medical bills. Leo dropped out of college. He took the first job he could find, cleaning the floors of a jewelry store. It was painful. Every day, Leo looked at the glass cases filled with stones he knew everything about, but he wasn't allowed to touch them. He was only allowed to clean the glass so the rich customers could see better. The manager of the store was a man named Mr. Gower. If you looked up the word snake in the dictionary, you would find a picture of Mr. Gower. He was a tall man who wore suits that were too tight. He had a fake tan that looked orange under the lights. Gower didn't care about jewelry. He didn't care about beauty. He only cared about the number on the credit card machine. He had a rule for his staff. "If the customer is dumb, make them pay double," Gower would say in the break room, laughing. "It's not stealing, it's business." The other salespeople were afraid of him. They knew that Gower fired people for smiling the wrong way. On this Tuesday, the store was quiet. Gower was standing behind the main counter looking at his watch. He was bored. He was complaining to a salesgirl named Sarah. "Look at this weather," Gower said, disgusted. "The rain brings in the mud. Make sure the janitor cleans the entrance again. I see a spot." "Yes, Mr. Gower," Sarah whispered. Leo heard this. He dipped his rag in the bucket and started scrubbing harder. He kept his head down. "Just keep working," Leo told himself. "Do it for Dad. Pay the debt." Then, the door chime rang. Ding-dong. The heavy glass door opened slowly. A gust of freezing wind blew into the warm store. And then, The old man stepped in. The entire store went silent. The man looked like he had just walked out of a cornfield in the middle of a storm. He was wearing denim overalls covered in grease and dirt. He had a heavy flannel shirt that was torn at the elbow. His boots were thick, heavy work boots, caked with fresh, wet mud. With every step he took, he left a dirty brown footprint on Leo's clean white floor. Squish, squish. He held an old dirty baseball cap in his rough hands. His hair was messy and white. The customers stopped talking. A lady in a fur coat pulled her purse closer to her body, as if the old man was going to rob her. The security guard, a big man near the door, took a step forward, his hand moving to his belt. Mr. Gower's eyes narrowed. He looked at the old man with pure hate. "Oh, for God's sake," Gower muttered. He walked out from behind the counter. He didn't walk to welcome the man. He walked to block him. "Excuse me," Gower said, his voice loud and sharp. "Sir, you can't be in here." The old man stopped. He looked confused. He blinked his eyes, looking around at the bright lights. I am looking for the counter," the old man said. His voice was shaky and quiet. "The delivery entrance is in the alley," Gower said, pointing to the door. "If you have a package, go around back. You are getting mud on my floor." The old man looked down at his boots. He looked ashamed. "I am sorry about the mud," the old man said. "My truck. It broke down a few miles away. I had to walk, but I am not a delivery man." "Then what do you want?" Gower asked rudely. "We don't give handouts here. The homeless shelter is 3 blocks down." "I am not homeless," the old man said, standing a little straighter. "I am here to do business. I want to sell something." Gower laughed. It was a cruel sound. You want to sell something here? Sir, do you know where you are? This is Royal Gems. We sell diamonds worth more than your life. We don't buy. Whatever you have in your pockets." The old man didn't leave. He reached into the deep pocket of his dirty overalls. He pulled out a small purple velvet pouch. The velvet was worn out and bald in some spots. "It has been a hard year," the old man explained. "The harvest was bad. My tractor engine blew up this morning. If I don't fix it by Friday, I lose my crop. I lose the farm." He looked at Gower with pleading eyes. "This was my mother's," the old man said. "She told me to keep it for an emergency." "Well, this is an emergency." Gower rolled his eyes. He checked his watch again. He wanted this dirty man gone. "Fine," Gower sighed. "Let me see the junk so you can leave." The old man walked to the glass counter. His hands were shaking as he opened the pouch. Leo was only a few feet away on his knees. He stopped scrubbing. He watched. The old man tipped the pouch. A ring slid out and hit the glass. Clink. It was an old ring. The gold band was bent and dark with age. It looked ugly. But on top of the ugly band sat a stone. It was huge. It was a round stone, cut in an old-fashioned style. The moment the overhead lights hit the stone, it exploded with light. It didn't just shine. It danced. Blue, white, and violet flashes shot out of the stone. Leo gasped quietly. He knew that flash. His father had taught him. Dispersion. The way a real diamond breaks light. Gower saw it too. For 1 second, the arrogance dropped from Gower's face. His eyes went wide. His mouth opened slightly. Gower was a thief, but he knew his job. He knew instantly that he was looking at a fortune. But just as quickly, Gower's face changed back. He put his mask on. He picked up the ring with 2 fingers, as if it was something dirty. He pulled a jeweler's loop from his pocket and held it to his eye. He looked at the stone for a long time. The store was silent. The old man held his breath. Is it worth anything? I need $4,000 for the engine parts." Gower put the ring down. He made a sad face. He shook his head. "Oh, Pops," Gower said, his voice dripping with fake sympathy. "I am so sorry." "What?" the old man asked. "What is it?" "It's glass," Gower lied. He said it so smoothly, so easily. "It is a piece of lead glass. probably from the 1950s. They used to make these to look like diamonds for costume parties. It sparkles, sure, but it's worth zero. The old man looked like he had been punched in the stomach. He grabbed the counter for support. "Glass?" he whispered. "But my mother, she said it was real. She promised me." "Old ladies get confused," Gower said, shrugging. "Or maybe someone lied to her a long time ago. Look, it happens all the time." The old man picked up the ring. His hands were trembling so much he almost dropped it. "I don't know what to do," the old man cried. "I can't lose the farm. It's all I have." He turned to leave, defeated. "Wait," Gower said. The predator was setting the trap. "I can see you are a good man," Gower said, smiling. "And I hate to see a senior citizen suffer. My grandfather was a farmer." Gower leaned in close. "The stone is trash, but the gold band, it has a little value. We usually don't buy scrap metal, but I want to help you." The old man looked up, hope returning to his eyes. "You do?" "I'll give you $100 for the ring," Gower said. "I'll melt it down. It's not much, but it buys you dinner." 100, the old man repeated. "I needed 4,000. "It's 100 or nothing," Gower said, his voice getting harder. "Take the charity, old man." The old man looked at the ring. He looked at the door. He looked at his dirty boots. He was desperate. $100 was better than zero. "Okay," the old man whispered. "I'll take it." Gower smiled. He reached for the cash register. He was about to steal a fortune for $100. "Don't do it!" The voice came from the floor. Gower froze. His hand stopped halfway to the register. He looked down. Leo was standing up. He had dropped his rag. His face was pale, but his eyes were burning. "Excuse me?" Gower said, his voice low and dangerous. "What did you say?" Leo didn't look at Gower. He looked straight at the old man. "Sir," Leo said, his voice shaking but clear, "do not sell that ring. Do not take the money." "Leo," Gower warned, stepping out from behind the counter, "get back to your work, now." "He is lying to you," Leo said, louder this time. The customers turned around. The lady in the fur coat stopped shopping. The security guard watched. "What?" the old man asked, confused. "The ring," Leo said, pointing at the stone. "It is not glass." Gower's face turned a violent shade of red. He marched toward Leo. "You shut your mouth, janitor. You don't know anything. You are scrubbing floors." "I know gems," Leo shouted back. He wasn't afraid anymore. He was thinking of his father. He was thinking of the truth. Leo looked at the old man. "Sir, look at the flashes. Glass sparkles, but it doesn't have fire. See the blue? See the orange? That is a diamond." Leo turned to Gower. "And it's not just a diamond. It's an old mine cut, and it's clear. It's a type Taua. It has no nitrogen. It is chemically pure." Leo took a breath. "My father was a gemologist. He taught me everything. That stone is at least 4 carats. Sir, that ring is not worth $100. It is worth at least $150,000. $150,000? The old man gasped. He clutched the ring to his chest. The secret was out. Gower looked around. The customers were whispering. He had been caught trying to scam an old man in front of everyone. His career was on the line. He needed to destroy Leo. Gower screamed. "You are a liar!" Gower yelled. He got right in Leo's face. "You are high. You are on drugs." "I am telling the truth." Leo stood his ground. "You are a janitor!" Gower spat the word like it was a curse. "You are nothing! You are dirt!" Gower grabbed Leo by the front of his gray uniform. "I gave you a job when no one else would. And this is how you repay me? By scaring my customers with lies?" "Let go of me," Leo said. "You are fired!" Gower screamed. "You are done! You will never work in this city again." Gower was a big man. He dragged Leo toward the door. Leo tried to stop, but his sneakers slipped on the polished floor. "Get out!" Gower shoved Leo. Leo stumbled through the open door and fell hard onto the concrete sidewalk. The rain was pouring down. He was instantly soaked. Gower stood in the doorway, his chest heaving. "And you!" Gower pointed at the old man. "Get out! Take your fake ring and get out of my store. Go back to your pig farm." The old man didn't say a word. He placed his hat on his head. He looked at Gower with eyes that were suddenly very sharp. He walked out into the rain, joining Leo on the sidewalk. Gower slammed the door. He locked it. He turned to the customers inside with a fake, nervous smile. "So sorry about that, folks. Just a disgruntled employee. Mental health issues. Very sad." Leo sat on the wet ground. His knee was bleeding. He put his head in his hands. "I'm an idiot," Leo sobbed. "I lost my job. I can't pay the rent. My mom." He felt a hand on his shoulder. It was the old man. "You're not an idiot, son," the old man said. His voice was different now. It wasn't shaky. It was strong. It sounded like a general commanding an army. Leo looked up. The old man was standing in the rain, but he didn't look cold. He looked powerful. "You saved me," the old man said. "He was going to steal my mother's ring." "It doesn't matter." Leo wiped his eyes. "I'm fired. I'm broke." The old man smiled. A slow, mysterious smile. He reached into his dirty overalls, but he didn't pull out the ring. He pulled out a phone. It was the newest model smartphone, in a sleek black case. It looked completely out of place in his dirty hands. The old man dialed a number. He put the phone to his ear. He looked through the glass window of the store. He looked straight at Mr. Gower. "Arthur?" the old man said into the phone. "Yes, it's Silas." Leo frowned. "Silas?" "I'm at the North Avenue location," the old man continued. "Yes, the flagship store." Inside the store, Gower was watching. He saw the farmer on the phone. Gower looked confused. "Arthur," the old man said, his voice loud enough for Leo to hear. "Activate the termination clause, immediate eviction." Leo stood up slowly. "Sir? What are you doing?" The old man ignored him. "Yes, breach of contract, attempted theft, and gross misconduct." The old man paused. "And send the security team down here. I want the manager removed from the premises in 10 minutes, and change the locks." He hung up the phone. He turned to Leo. "You asked who I was," the old man said. He wiped a smudge of mud from his face. "My name is Silas Vance. I don't just own a farm, kid. I own the land this city is built on. I own this building. I own the building across the street. And I own the company that leases this store to Mr. Gower." Leo's jaw dropped. "You? You're Silas Vance? The billionaire?" "I hate that word," Silas winked. "But yes. But the clothes, the mud?" "I dress like this once a year," Silas explained. "I visit my properties disguised as a nobody. I want to see how my tenants treat people who have nothing, because that tells you everything about a man's character." Silas looked at the store window. Gower was staring back. Inside the store, the phone on the wall started ringing. Gower picked it up. Leo watched through the glass. He saw the color drain from Gower's face. Gower went pale. He looked like he was going to vomit. Gower dropped the phone. He looked out the window at the old man in the dirty overalls. Silas Vance gave him a little wave. 2 minutes later, a black SUV pulled up to the curb. 4 men in dark suits jumped out. They weren't police. They were private corporate security. They marched into the store. They walked straight to Gower. One of them took his keys. Another took his badge. Gower tried to argue. He pointed at Leo. He pointed at Silas. But the guards didn't listen. They grabbed Gower by the arms, just like Gower had grabbed Leo. They marched him to the door. They shoved him out onto the sidewalk. Gower landed in a puddle right at Silas's feet. His expensive suit was ruined. "Mr. Vance!" Gower cried, scrambling on his knees. "I didn't know. Please, it was a joke. I was testing him." Silas looked down at Gower. "You weren't testing him," Silas said coldly. "You were robbing me, and you humiliated this young man." "I'll hire him back," Gower begged. "I'll give him a raise." "You can't hire him," Silas said, because you don't work here anymore. You are banned from every property I own, and I own half the city. Good luck finding a job. The guards escorted Gower away. He was crying. Silas turned to Leo. The rain had stopped. The sun was breaking through the clouds. Well, Silas said, I have a problem now. I have a flagship jewelry store with no manager, and I need someone who knows the difference between glass and a Type 2A diamond. Leo felt his heart stop. Sir? You have the eye, Silas said. Your father taught you well. But more importantly, you have the guts. You stood up for the truth when it cost you everything. Silas put a hand on Leo's shoulder. I don't need a janitor, Leo. I need a partner. I'm going to rebrand this store. I want to make it a place where people are treated with respect, no matter what shoes they are wearing. I want you to run it. Leo started to cry. Sir, I dropped out of college. I have debts. Not anymore, Silas smiled. The salary comes with a signing bonus. Your debts are gone today. Leo looked at the store. He looked at the spot on the floor where he used to scrub on his knees. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Silas said. Yes, Leo whispered. Yes. Leo took the job. Under his management, the store changed. He took down the intimidating signs. He fired the snobby staff. He hired people who needed a second chance. And on the wall behind the main counter, Leo hung a picture. It wasn't a picture of a diamond. It was a picture of an old, dirty tractor. He kept it there to remind himself, and everyone else, of the most important lesson his father and Silas ever taught him. That you can't judge a book by its cover, and that integrity is the most expensive thing in the world, and it's the only thing that cannot be bought. Mr. Gower? The last anyone heard, he was working at a car wash in another state. And yes, he has to clean the mud off the tires. If this story touched your heart, please leave a like. And tell us in the comments, have you ever been judged by how you look? Remember, kindness is a choice. Make it every day. Until the next story.